Paul. Welcome back to my little interview room.
Yep.
I was wondering what we're doing here today.
So we're answering 25 questions leading up to the holidays, and we're all set for another question.
All right. Well, does writing energize you or completely exhaust you?
Both, if I'm being honest. Sometimes when I'm in writing mode, I can go for hours, and I'm lucky in that I'm a fast typist. Well, I don't know if I would say luck. I spent years learning typing.
Yeah. How many words per minute?
On a good day, 140.
I thought 160.
Wow, that would be pressing things, I
Okay.
think. Luckily, spell check and autocorrect are great benefits.
Do you find that you can type fast, but sometimes your brain has to stop for you to mull through the different ideas?
Yeah, I don't, people have suggested that I try using dictation software, but I think part of my process is I need to write a section and then stop and think about what's going on in order to frame the next one. So when I'm writing, I'll often write it scene by scene, and between scenes I typically go out and make some tea or get a snack or something because I need that time to mull over what's going to happen in the next scene. And then a lot of times, if I'm not writing, I'm actually tweaking my rather extensive outline and adding in new little concepts and stuff.
And by extensive, how many pages?
So it can easily run from 20 to 30 pages in length, and that's bullet form.
Yeah. Have you ever written actual dialogue in your outline?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll do what's called pseudo-dialogue, so I don't worry about quotes or anything. I just said so-and-so says this guy, and so-and-so says this girl, and whatever. So that I have a better idea of what the conversation. Sometimes I picture a scene, and it might just turn on a particular phrase. There might be an expression that somebody uses that sort of cements that conversation in my mind. So I'll put that down so I make sure to include it.
So we originally started with, does it exhaust you or energize you? And we kind of diverted from that, so we're going to come back to that.
So a little bit of both. When I'm really into a scene, the time just flies back, and I can look down and I've got 3,000 words done. Other times it's a struggle.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have a particular scene and I know what I want to have happen in the scene, but getting it to sound right on the screen is the tricky part, right? And sometimes what can hold me up the most is just starting
conversation or chapter.
Starting a chapter, because you want to, you don't want to just say so and so walked into a room, for every chapter, especially when there's like 45 chapters. So you want to have variety, but at the same time, you have to sort of picture in your mind, what is this scene I'm telling? I always think of it more like a TV show. So I'm trying to picture it as an image being filmed and then describe it.
So back to exhaust and energize you. What exhausts you?
It's hard to say. I don't know that there's any one thing that exhausts me, but sometimes I'll just get stuck on one particular section of a book that is just, I can't get it that day. And sometimes, the next day I might fly through it, but sometimes I'm just not in the right mindset for that particular scene or for writing that scene, or it's just, for whatever reason, a difficult scene to write.
Yeah,
right?
Difficult scene. I remember difficult scenes.
Yeah, I've had lots of difficult
Book 10.
Yes.
No spoilers, but...
That was actually the penultimate scene in the entire book, and it was difficult from an emotional standpoint. But on the other hand, I wrote it in one sitting.
Yes, I remember
because
that.
I clearly knew what it is I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it was hard from an emotional standpoint to actually write the scene.
I read that 4 times because I edit, and I cried every single time. And even now I'm verklempt thinking about it.
And
so
now
we'll
I
move
know
on.
I've done my job.
Yes. So not really exhaust, energized, but emotions.